Have you ever been betrayed by someone you trusted? Imagine helping a friend through their darkest moments only to have them turn around and spread lies about you. Picture yourself being falsely accused of something you never did, while the very people you once supported celebrate your downfall. This isn't just a modern story of workplace drama or social media. Betrayal, it's a 3,000-year-old psalm that could have been written yesterday. Today, we're diving deep into Psalm 35, where King David shows us how to handle life's most painful injustices while building your English vocabulary with some of the most powerful words in the language. What makes this psalm extraordinary isn't just its raw honesty about human nature, it's how David transforms his anger into something productive. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand complex English expressions like malicious witnesses and treacherous enemies, but you'll also discover a blueprint for dealing with betrayal that has guided people for millennia. Ready to explore how ancient wisdom can teach us modern English while healing our hearts? Before we jump into the text, let's set the scene. David, the future king of Israel, is facing false accusations from people who should have been his allies. The phrase malicious witnesses in verse 11 teaches us that malicious means deliberately harmful or spiteful. When someone acts with malice, they're not just disagreeing with you, they're actively trying to cause damage. Notice how David says, "They accuse me of crimes I know nothing about." The word accuse is crucial in legal English. It means to claim someone has done something wrong, usually without proof. In everyday conversation, you might hear, "Don't accuse me of lying," or "She was accused of stealing." The beauty of learning English through the Bible is that these words carry both legal precision and emotional weight. David's pain becomes even clearer when he explains his past kindness. "Yet when they were ill, I grieved for them." The verb grieved shows deep sorrow, while denied myself by fasting demonstrates sacrifice. To deny yourself means to give up something you want for someone else's benefit. These aren't just vocabulary words, they're windows into the human experience that transcends time and culture. Think about the people in your life who might need to learn these words to express their own struggles. David's cry for justice introduces us to powerful English expressions. When he asks God to oppose those who oppose me, he's using a rhetorical technique called chiasmus, where words are repeated in reverse order for emphasis. This isn't just poetic, it's psychologically powerful. The repetition drives home his point while teaching us that oppose can mean both to fight against and to resist. The military imagery that follows is rich with English vocabulary. "Put on your armor and take up your shield" uses take up as a phrasal verb meaning to pick up and prepare to use. Prepare for battle shows us that prepare often comes with for when we're getting ready for something specific. You might prepare for an exam or prepare for winter. The phrase brings shame and disgrace teaches us two related but different concepts. Shame is the feeling of humiliation, while disgrace is the loss of respect from others. David isn't just asking for his enemies to feel bad, he's asking for their reputations to be ruined. This distinction matters in English because shame is internal emotion, but disgrace is external consequence. These aren't just words on a page, they're weapons in David's arsenal of language, each one carefully chosen to express different aspects of his pain and his request for divine intervention. Understanding these distinctions will make your English more precise and emotionally resonant. David's use of metaphors creates some of the most vivid imagery in English literature. When he says, "Blow them away like chaff in the wind," he's using an agricultural metaphor that would have been instantly understood by his original audience. Chaff is the worthless outer covering of grain that farmers separate from the valuable kernel. The image teaches us several English concepts. Blow away can be literal wind, moving objects, or figurative. meaning to isolate, defeat, or overwhelm. Like chaff in the wind became an English idiom meaning something worthless that's easily scattered. You might hear someone say, his arguments were like chaff in the wind, to mean they were weak and unconvincing. Make their path dark and slippery creates a perfect picture of uncertainty and danger. In English, we often use path metaphorically to mean someone's life journey or choices. A slippery path suggests moral danger, while a dark path implies evil or confusion. When we say someone is on a slippery slope, we mean they're making increasingly bad decisions. The hunting metaphors are equally rich. They laid a trap for me and they dug a pit to catch me. In modern English, we still say someone laid a trap when they set up a situation to harm or trick someone. Digging a pit for someone means creating a hidden danger or problem for them. Try using these metaphors in your own English conversations to see how they add depth and color to your communication. The Psalms' emotional vocabulary is sophisticated and precise. David describes himself as sick with despair. In English, we can be sick with various emotions: sick with worry, sick with grief, sick with anger. This construction shows that emotions can affect us physically, making us literally feel ill. When David says, "I was sad," as though they were my friends or family, he's teaching us about similes, comparisons using as or like. The phrase "as though" introduces a hypothetical comparison, suggesting that his care for these people was so deep it felt like family love, even though they weren't actually related. The contrast becomes sharper when he describes their response. "But they are glad now that I am in trouble. They gleefully join together against me." Gleefully is an adverb that intensifies the cruelty. They're not just happy about his suffering, they're taking obvious joy in it. This word choice reveals the depth of their betrayal. "They slander me constantly" introduces us to a legal term that's still important today. Slander means making false spoken statements that damage someone's reputation. The word constantly emphasizes that this isn't a one-time event, but an ongoing campaign against him. Notice how these emotional words carry weight that simple alternatives like happy or sad simply cannot match. David's questions to God showcase interrogative structures in English. "How long, O Lord, will you look on and do nothing?" This "how long" construction appears throughout the Psalms and remains common in English today. We might ask, how long will this pandemic last? Or how long must we wait? The phrase "look on and do nothing" is particularly powerful because it combines action with inaction. To look on means to watch without participating, while do nothing emphasizes the absence of help. Together, they create frustration and urgency. His plea, "Don't let my treacherous enemies rejoice over my defeat," teaches us that treacherous means disloyal or betraying trust. It comes from treachery, which is deliberate betrayal. In modern English, we might call someone treacherous if they pretend to be your friend while working against you. "Don't let those who hate me without cause gloat over my sorrow" introduces us to without cause, meaning without good reason or justification. To gloat means to feel or show smug satisfaction about your own success or another's misfortune. These phrases remain vital in contemporary English for describing unfair treatment and cruel responses. Pay attention to how news anchors and commentators use these exact expressions when discussing politics and social issues. As David looks toward resolution, his language becomes more complex and sophisticated. "Declare me not guilty, O Lord my God, for you give justice" uses legal terminology that remains current today. In courtrooms, judges declare verdicts, and defendants are found guilty or not guilty. The phrase "you give justice" is interesting because it treats justice as something concrete that can be given or withheld. In English, we often personify abstract concepts like justice, making them actors in our sentences rather than just ideas. David's description of his enemy's mockery is particularly vivid. Don't let them say, "Look, we got what we wanted. Now we will eat him alive." The phrase "eat him alive" is a metaphor for completely destroying someone, and it's still used in modern English. We might say, "The critics will eat that movie alive," or "she'll eat you alive in that negotiation." The contrast David seeks is beautifully expressed. May those who rejoice at my troubles be humiliated and disgraced. May those who triumph over me be covered with shame and dishonor. This parallel structure, one group experiencing shame while another experiences joy, demonstrates sophisticated English sentence construction using balanced clauses. When you're writing formal emails or academic papers, this kind of parallel structure makes your English sound more professional and polished. David's vision of resolution introduces us to more positive vocabulary. But give great joy to those who came to my defense shows us that came to my defense is an idiomatic expression, meaning to support or protect someone who is being attacked or criticized. Let them continually say, "Great is the Lord, who delights in blessing his servant with peace." The word continually means without stopping, and delights and shows enjoyment or pleasure in doing something. This construction "delights in" plus a gerund is common in English. She delights in helping others, or he delights in solving puzzles. The final verse ties everything together. Then I will proclaim your justice, and I will proclaim your justice, and I will praise you all day long. To proclaim means to announce publicly and officially, while all day long is an idiomatic expression meaning continuously throughout the day. This ending transforms David's complaint into commitment. Instead of just asking for help, he promises to share his story of God's faithfulness. This shift from petition to proclamation shows emotional maturity and linguistic sophistication. Watch how politicians and public speakers use this same technique, moving from problem identification to solution commitment. Understanding Psalm 35 equips you with vocabulary for discussing conflict, justice, and resolution in English. The legal terms accuse, declare, guilty, justice are essential for understanding news, courtroom dramas, and formal discussions about right and wrong. The emotional vocabulary, grieve, despair, gleefully, treacherous, helps you express complex feelings precisely. English speakers value emotional intelligence and the ability to articulate subtle differences between similar feelings. The metaphorical language paths, traps, chaff in the wind teaches you how English uses concrete images to express abstract ideas. This skill is crucial for understanding literature, poetry, and even business communication, where metaphors make complex concepts accessible. Remember that learning English through the Bible gives you access to the foundation of English literature and culture. Many English expressions, metaphors, and moral concepts trace back to biblical sources, making this psalm a masterclass in both language and wisdom. Start incorporating these phrases into your daily conversations and watch how they elevate your English from basic communication to sophisticated expression. Psalm 35 proves that human nature hasn't changed much in 3,000 years. Betrayal, false accusations, and the desire for justice remain universal experiences. But David shows us how to process these experiences through language that is both honest about pain and hopeful about resolution. As you continue learning English, remember that vocabulary isn't just about memorizing definitions. It's about understanding how words carry emotional weight, cultural history, and practical power. The distinction between shame and disgrace, between opposing and resisting, between proclaiming and announcing, makes your English more precise and impactful. Take these words and phrases into your daily English practice. Use them in your writing, listen for them in movies and news programs, and notice how they appear in different contexts. Language learned through meaningful content sticks better than vocabulary lists because it comes with emotional and cultural context. Most importantly, remember David's transformation from victim to victor, from complaint to commitment. Sometimes the most powerful English we can learn is the language of resilience, forgiveness, and hope. In a world still full of betrayal and injustice, these ancient words remain remarkably modern and surprisingly healing. Your English journey is about more than grammar and vocabulary. It's about joining a global conversation about what it means to be human. Psalm 35 shows us that this conversation has been going on for millennia, and your voice deserves to be part of it.